Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode of When Artist Speaks. I'm your girl, Stacy, and yes, I'm here again with another amazing artist. And yes, for those of you who have been listening consistently, I'm here with another artist from the organization of BASE, Black Art Student Empowerment at the campus of Virginia Commonwealth University, Miss Mikayla. Hi, Mikayla. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so cool. I love
Yes,
it.
I listen. Let me explain to the audience. I know you guys have heard me talk about bass. I know y'all probably like, is this a bass podcast? No, no, no. This is not a bass podcast. But I absolutely wanted to uh, bring these artists on, hear their voices, hear their mission, hear their vision, and just talk about their craft. If I sound a little choppy today, it's because something's trying to get into my throat in the summer of 2023, but I'm not going to let that stop me. How I came to meet Miss Mikayla. The base organization had an event in December of 2022 called Artist Alley. I think it was like one of their first tabling events for the artists that were a part of that organization. And I was there to support one of the artists who some of you have heard me mention. My daughter's one of the artists of that organization. And I was there to support her, and I got an opportunity to meet her peers. And so they had all of their tables set up and they had all of their artwork. And I mean, I lost my mind. I went from table to table. And every table I went to, I said, okay, I didn't set a budget for myself, which is a mistake because I went from table to table and I could not buy from these artists, and I felt terrible because I couldn't buy from everybody. But I could appreciate the fact that they had enough wherewithal to have a pricing point for their work. Doesn't mean that that's the value of their work, but they knew enough to put a pricing point to say, I wouldn't give this away for free, you know? And so I got an opportunity to meet Mikayla at that event as I did the others. And per usual, I was just enamored by the artwork. At some point, I'm going to get all of their artwork framed and then I'm going to come back on here and show everybody. But today, we're going to get a chance to introduce you guys to Mikayla. You get to hear a little bit about her, what she's doing, what she's done, and you know what she's up to. So I'm going to shut my mouth and turn it over to you, Mikayla. Why don't you let the audience know a little bit about who you are?
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Mikayla. This is going to be my third year at VCU. I'm a communication arts major. I guess some other things about me. I really like drawing. Obviously, that's why I started getting into the arts. I've been drawing like for as long as I can remember, but I didn't start taking it really seriously until like the end of middle school and going into high school. That's when I started taking like actual art classes at my school. But the art department at my high school was a little underfunded, and so it was kind of discouraging being there. And then when I started getting into like looking at colleges, I was like, oh, like you can major in art, like people do this as a job. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm just gonna do art. I almost did criminal justice because that's what my dad does. Yeah, and then something told me to just like he was like, no, like if you want to do art, just do it. Like so
I
here I
love
am.
it. See, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because, being on the in the role of the parent, right? Because now I'm a parent of a young adult who is pursuing, young adults, and they're pursuing their own passions and dreams. And so I love that your dad was like, "Hey, I get it. You want to kind of stay in line, but I want you to do what you want to do." He's sparing you a lot of struggles that many of us, it wasn't until we got into our adult years where we had a little bit of experience, we were like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this to keep up the family lineage. I hated it the whole time.
Hmm.
Because um, for me, growing up, I grew up in sort of a rural environment. So I had family members. My family was a lot of blue collar, a lot of, my mother did like housekeeping, and she was a baker and things like that. She was a seamstress. And, I'm not good at none of that. I can cook. Now I can cook, but I can't sew. I can clean. I clean. I have a little bit of OCD, so my cleaning skills are. But I wanted to do something else, and I didn't have. My parents weren't like, "Oh, you got to do what we want you to do." They just didn't know. So I can appreciate. That's why when Sydney became, when she started getting into art, She was like, "I want to do art." I didn't know what she was going to do with it, but I knew I couldn't tell her, especially with me being a poet, I couldn't tell her, oh, now you know you're not going to make any money doing that, because it's her creativity. It's a natural part of who you are. And the
Exactly.
natural things of you are supposed to yield fruit in your life. So I absolutely shout out to your father for, at least giving you that freedom to do that. I think that's awesome. And you mentioned
Yeah.
something about your high school, the art part being underfunded, right?
Mhm.
And it's interesting how now, when you guys were coming up in school, they took a lot of stuff out of school for y'all that we had in school. We had fully funded music programs and fully funded cinematography classes, and
Yeah.
art was more than just a couple of canvases with some squirt paint. Art was, oh, hey, today we got cement people in here and we're going to bring cement and and so to see those things just get pulled out, the music, the poetry, that's how I got into poetry, because we were required every year, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, we had to take a Shakespeare class, and then we had to take an art, it was called a cultural art experience course, which, you had the opportunity to take a course that was tied to your culture. So I was like, oh, so, then they took art from y'all, they took music from y'all, they took cursive writing. Michaela, your peers
Oh.
can't sign contracts. Well, I don't know what the next generation is after y'all. What are y'all? Are y'all Gen? What are y'all? I don't even know.
Oh, I
Y'all are
really
Gen.
don't
Are
know.
you Gen?
I
Are
don't
you
know.
Gen Z? Are you Gen
Some
Z?
I don't think I'm Gen Z. I think Gen Z is like the kids after me.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm not even
I really
about. We're not even gonna lie to ourselves about that. Whoever the generation is after y'all, they can't sign their name in cursive. Poor babies. So, but we are not going to waste your time with this. I want to get into you. So, you touched on a little bit about how you got into it. What are some of your art competencies, right? Traditional, multimedia. What are some of the art?
So when I started getting into it in high school, I was doing mostly traditional art. I was doing a lot of color pencil, like a lot of color pencil, like maybe too much. And then I was doing a lot of like oil pastels, chalk pastels. I really like those because it's just so like a lot of people don't like it because it's very messy, but I kind of like that. I don't know. I just like that it just gets everywhere. And so I was doing a lot of pastels, a lot of color pencil. I don't really painting is not really like my strong suit. And I know like Sydney, like she's crazy with paint, like she's so good. And I just like I want to get to that level, but I haven't really explored paint that much. I still want to do that. But yeah, I was working with a lot of like those kinds of things. But now I'm getting a lot into or digital art. So I've been using like Krita, which is like a digital drawing program on my laptop. And I just got a new iPad, so I'm going to be getting Procreate and learning how to do that. Doing a lot of like Adobe apps like Illustrator, Photoshop, things like that. So I'm still do traditional, but I'm moving a lot into digital now.
I think that, and see, I love that. I love how, you know, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to evolve, right? And move
Hmm.
up. And I love that you don't put yourself in this box of, for example, I think that's the thing I can appreciate about you all that I have had an opportunity to converse with from base is that you are surrounded by each other, and you each are so unique and you have these amazing talents, and you're not in that space of, oh, he does that better than me, oh, she does that better than me. But instead, what I've seen you all, really hype each other up, really big each other up, like really, really like, oh my God, that's so, and it's not fake. I'm not, no shade to my generation, but we've mastered the art of being fake with each other. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Friday with Ice Cube, and when the mama walk outside and she is talking about the neighbor like a dog in the street,
Yeah.
and then she be like, "Hey, girl, I promise you,
See, that gets me every time because I'm like, girl, you were just
my
talking.
generation." That is, it's so unfortunate. Now I'm not generalizing. that's some of the folks in my generation. That's, and
Mm.
it's unfortunate. And so I love to see how you all in your community have come together and you're bigging each other up. And I love that evolution that you're talking about. Like you didn't stunt yourself, because sometimes we can get really comfortable in one thing that you like to do and be like, this is what I like to do and I don't care. You're going to get to procreate, you're going to get all of the applications, you have peers and friends around you that are already kind of versed in it, and they can kind of help you get a groove in it. And watch, you might even find another niche. Continue to do that though. Like, continue to do that. Like, because you'll see, and you're probably already figuring it out. Like, being in college, you're probably already seeing, dang, art was one line for me. And now you're starting to see it. It comes in all of these different forms and all of these different fashions. What are some other things you're looking to get into as an artist? I know you said you're getting more into digital, which is right in line with technology today. But what are some things, your original stamp, Mikayla, nobody else could do it? What are some other things you're looking to kind of get into to put out there?
Do you mean like ideas that I have, or like more like media that I wanted to get into, or
Ideas, media, something you want to, like, I know you, as you are working as a young, young adult, young artist, just a young professional in general.
hmm
A lot of times we don't think about the things that we want to, like, our fingerprint we want to leave. What is, like, I guess here's the question. This is a better question. What is the signature, what's the signature Mikayla stamp that you would leave in this world? Like, you know, what's that? And it's a
that's a heavy question.
you need a moment.
um, wow, I really don't. I would have to think like real deep about that. But
Oh,
I know like 150%. I want to be an animator. I want to learn how to animate, and like I already like I have a DSi, like it's a Nintendo DSi. I don't know if like a lot of like kids my age had one, and it has this little program on it called Flipnote Studio. And
mhm.
when I was younger, like in elementary school, middle school, because I had it since 2009,
Mm,
and it still works perfectly fine.
okay.
And and so I would just be playing around making little animations on that. But like that is what got me into like art. That's what got me into like animation, that whole realm, like Disney, Pixar, like all of that stuff. And I was like, I'm really passionate about it and I really want to get a lot better at it. I thought about going to grad school for animation.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I definitely feel like I am like a storyteller, like at heart.
Hmm.
And I haven't like put out a lot of like my stories, I guess, like in forms of like actual storyboards or like like short films really, but like I have so many ideas. Like I have my like my little notes app and I just have like pages of just like I have so much stuff that I feel like there's kind of a wall there and I'm not sure like I can't really get through it, but I have so much stuff that I
I
want to
tell
share.
you, I tell you a piece of advice. Create doggy doors in the wall, right? Just little doors, right? Because you're creative. You're going to always have ideas. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night. If you look next to my bed, I got a stack of notebooks. Because I wake up in the middle of the night, oh my God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
That's
And
so
I don't know if you remember when y'all were doing the event, I was so hyped at that event. I was like, oh my God, I want to interview these kids. That was in December. That was in December of 2022. It is July of 2023. So do you see how you have to
yeah.
allow the ideas the time to cultivate? Because, because you'll get concerned when the ideas just stop coming.
hmm
Don't so much get worried about being overwhelmed, because that's what the notes are for. You may have a note that you wrote in there from 2012 that may not materialize until 2025, but it'll be because, it won't be because you just didn't want to do it. It'll be because you will have had the experiences, you will have gotten the tools, you would have gotten some additional things you needed that could now make that come to pass. So I say, that looks overwhelming in the world of anxiety, it's a lot of stuff that just can make you anxious off a general principle. Put little doggy doors and just walk through One little doggy door at a time, one little door at a time. Oh, walking through that door. And before you know it, you will have noticed that you will have knocked down a lot of things. But when you walk through that door for that first time, allow yourself the time to just cultivate that. You know, put your focus on that. Even if other little ideas come out of it, that's your focus. Put your hands on it, boom. Next thing, boom. All of a sudden, you look up and you are the master of multitasking.
Mm.
I think people think that multitasking means you got to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff at one time. No, the mastering of multitasking comes in the ability to execute things, multiple things. You can execute one thing, like right now, you and I are executing this interview. And then when we get done with this, I'm going to go downstairs and execute dinner. I will have multitasked a number of things in this day. So
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to remember that because I think like the way my mind works, I'm definitely like I can be very all over the place. And I like the same thing will happen to me. I'll wake up and I'll just be like, I need to do this right now. Especially like that I'm in college and I'm still learning about a lot of like the technical like skills that I need to be an artist. Like I'm not perfect at figure drawing yet. I'm not perfect at like color theory. And so like when I have these like great like I just know like my ideas are just so good. Like I have so much faith and like belief in myself
Hmm.
and like when I try to execute those ideas and I don't have the technical skill to like materialize them, like to actually make them exist, that is
Hmm.
so frustrating because
Hmm.
I'm like I can see exactly what I want in my head, but I can't like create it in like a physical form, and that is so frustrating, like and having to like you said like you might have an idea 1 year and then it takes like 2 3 years for it to actually come to fruition, and that period of time is just really hard for me because I'm like I just want it to exist right now. I
Well,
don't want to wait.
let me help you as an audience of your work, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it gets like that, because you're right, it absolutely gets like that. I need you to, this is where you learn how to tap back into the markets that you have already kind of touched on. Like I'll give you an example. Now that you know who I am, and now that you have an outlet to contact me, I would reach right back out. Hey, Miss Wilson, you bought one of my pieces, and blah 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 blah. To hear about what it is that you do, because when I got your piece, it was every single one of y'all's pieces. Really, I didn't buy no knickknack. I didn't buy it because I wanted to buy it. I didn't buy it because I have to. They're college. No, I literally spent some time. I looked at the pieces. I said, oh, I want that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I bought your piece, the things that stood out to me were the colors. It was the uniqueness of it. So you want to ask people about that, right? You want to get, because as artists, we will take critique, but you want review. You want a review of your work. What well, what is it? I'm asking you to interpret what I put together. I'm asking you to tell me your review. So I think that will help you too, because you're gonna always have those moments where it's a matter of learning how to manage the frustration of it, right? And being patient with yourself, because you can produce, you can put out finished product, right? You know this.
Yes.
So that's what you gotta tell yourself. I'm a finisher. If I ain't nothing else, I got some finished work. And as an artist, you're gonna always have some open-ended stuff. But yeah, definitely. I'm just telling you from example, as a person who has purchased your work, you're really good at what you do. And if that's what you produced in 2022, when I turn around and come back in 2024 and want to buy something else, I'm going to see a level up. But I am very pleased with what I have in my possession right now. So
Thank you.
when y'all, I'm telling y'all think I bought that stuff just because I was Sydney's mother and I was in elementary school. No, I wasn't. I spent a lot of money there.
No, I feel you because I've been to a few of the commerce exhibits, and the way I would just go around and just, oh, let me get this sticker. Oh, I need that. Oh, that I'm never gonna see this again. I need it, and then by the end, it's like, oh, I don't have $150. I needed that for lunch this week. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I want to segue into that community, right? Like I know you have your base community, but what are some other community influences you have? You have family, other external influences that might not be in your college or in your family. Like what are
Mm.
some of your inspirations?
Okay, so I guess like honestly, a lot of my community did come from college. And like a lot of like at my job right now, I work at a smoothie shop, and so the owner was like, "Oh, I need, some new art to put up on the wall." And I was like, "Well, I'm an art major." Like, hey. So so I think like the fact that college was kind of the doorway to like not just the college community itself, but like the doorway to accessing other communities outside of it. So like yeah, I really feel like college was my first introduction to like a real community. I mean, I do have my family as well. Honestly, my family is like a little more on the quiet side. They're more chill, laid back. So it's not that I don't have a community there. It's just like I really, really got into it in college. Um, but yeah, I think college really was just my community, especially bass, because I would not be doing this stuff if I didn't join bass, and I was scared to join too. I had to ask them and be like, "Hey, are you guys taking any applications?" I was so nervous.
I think all of you, honestly, I think every single one of you, at least, it's only a couple of y'all I can say probably didn't, but even Sydney was scared. She'll
Hmm.
never tell you that, but I'm putting it out on whoever this is going to reach. Sydney was afraid. She was. But all of y'all did it afraid and you found each other. I think
Hmm.
that's great, because I just think it's great. It really does. It's important in this world of you don't need anybody. You can handle yourself. Take care of yourself, man. All of that, there's some truth in there. Take care of you, put you first. That's some truth in there. But also don't forsake community. Don't forsake community. And even with your family, just kind of being quiet and in the background. And you got to remember, too, you're introducing something new into their bloodline, right? And I think that's important. You're introducing something new into the generations that will come after you. Like now, it maybe there's somebody who might be used to going a particular way and be like, oh, I'm gonna tap into a little bit more of my creative side. Coming across one of your pieces, coming across something you may have written or seen or something like that. So I think that's cool. I think that's cool. So
Hmm.
I want to give the people an opportunity to look at some of your work because we're talking about it. So, for the people that are watching on YouTube, you guys get a treat. For everybody that's listening, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna make sure y'all have access to her Instagram and her link tree so that you can view her work. But right now, we're gonna do a little bit of a share here, and then Mikayla, you just tell me where to go so
Okay.
that I can, and then we can talk a little bit about. I'm gonna go to your portfolio page, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I came on a picture that I really really like, but you got me through this. What slide do you want me to go to?
Oh, this is my old one.
Mhm.
So I mean, we could start here.
Okay.
So this one, Family by Choice, I did this one during high school. A lot of these are like older pieces, so I guess like looking back, it was like looking back at my old portfolio, I was like, ooh, I need to fix this, change that, but I'm trying to look back with more patience for myself because I
Yeah.
know I wasn't perfect.
Well,
But
I like
oh, thank you. But
it.
so yeah, this was a color pencil and chalk pastel. That's me in the yellow shirt, and then that's my friend in the black shirt. And so like we grew up together,
Mhm.
and so we're like family friends, and so that's why I put the name like Family by Choice.
Oh,
Um,
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let me do this too then. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to go to your link tree. Now, where do you want me to go to pull up? You want me to pull up your Instagram?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up your Instagram so they can see that too. But I did. I went to your link tree and I pulled up that portfolio, that picture, and I was like, oh, I like that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go to your Instagram here. And if, for those of you that are listening on audio, I am going to give you guys, I'm going to switch to show the ticker. If you want to connect with Mikayla on Instagram, you can follow her there. It's ML dot Charisse, CHARISSE, okay,
Mhm.
at Instagram. So if you're listening, ML dot Charisse, CHARISSE, okay. So we're gonna go over here and look at your Instagram page.
Yeah, and a lot of my stuff on here, like, at first, when I first started my page, I was like, oh, I gotta post, my finished, complete works with that seal of approval. But then I was like, I feel like I'm really restricting myself by only showing the clean, finished products. And so that's why I post a lot of sketches, a lot of things from my sketchbook, a lot of unfinished, quote unquote, messy work, because
Hmm.
I really feel like all of that is art. Like the process of art itself is
Yep,
art. And
it
so
is.
that's why I just post. I don't really have like an aesthetic or anything. I know a lot of people have like a pretty looking feed and all that, but I was like,
Yeah, curated.
yeah, I
Nope.
was like, I don't really care. I just want to post like whatever I come up with, whatever I do is just
I
there.
like this one right here. We're looking at I like this one where I have the cursor. I like
Okay.
that. Maybe because I make that face all the time. That might be why. I like
Yeah,
it so
that
much.
was like a speed drawing of it was just like a self portrait of like one of my outfits, I think. Um I think if you swipe there's like a time lapse and then there's also like the picture that it was based off of was like me when I had my hair out.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I like it. All right. Well, I like that. Let me see. I want to go. It was one that I saw. Oh, I like that too. I like that
Yeah.
too. See, now y'all see how I got caught up at the Artist Alley event because just, oh, I like
Mm.
that. I like this. Talk to me about this one here.
Okay. Yeah. So this one, I made this one last summer, so like a year ago.
Hmm.
Um, I was taking like some online classes at the community college nearby. I was just having a nice chill summer. Like I was having a good time. And I
Hmm.
would go to the Starbucks like down the street from me and I would just chill there. It was my spot. And I was just having like a really nice summer. It just felt nice. I wasn't really doing much. I was just having a nice time. And so I was experimenting on the digital program Krita that I use on my laptop. And I found this picture on Pinterest. I think I did put it in the slides. I don't know if it's maybe in like one of the
See.
last slides. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
So I don't know who the original artist of this picture is. So like if
Mhm.
anyone saw this on Pinterest, if you want to like, I don't know. But credits to them. This picture is so beautiful, and I really just love the aesthetic of like Black women just thriving. And when I saw that picture, I was like, I got to do something with this right now.
That's beautiful.
So I was in the middle of my assignments for my community college class, and I stopped everything and I said, I need to draw this right now. And so I just put it in the program and I just started playing around with some colors. I just picked a couple colors that I liked and I don't know. I really like it really just felt like I blinked and it just like was there. Like I can't really even tell you what happened between me coming up with the idea and it just there. It just happened. So
It came
yeah.
together nicely.
Hmm.
It really did. It
Thank
is
you.
gorgeous. I mean, I like that, and I love the inspiration picture. I really do. I think for me, Pinterest is like that's the perfect place to go when you're just trying to get a visual of something. Like
Yeah.
I think that's great. And so I want to make sure for everybody that's listening, y'all connect with her there. If you want to see what she's up to, what she's got going on, what's coming next, you definitely want to connect with her there. And if you are not a social media person and you just have to have a website, then you need to visit her link tree, okay? Her link tree, all right? And it's ML Charisse. Same thing, except there's no dot. It's just all one word. M as in Mary, L as in Larry, Charisse, CHARISSE on Linktree. So,
Hmm.
all right. Well, listen, I do want to ask you before we kind of close up and close out, are you currently taking commissions?
Yes, I am. I am taking commissions. I'm doing a couple right now. I do like a lot of logos. So if
Mm-hmm.
you need like a logo for a business, I've done logos for like a hair business. All of these were from my friends at school that have started their own businesses. So my friend Ernestine, she has a hair business called Cultured Crowns. Um, one of my friends named Madison, she has a podcast slash radio called Planet Madison.
Okay.
And yeah, and I also have a few more that are in the works. So yeah, but yes, I do take commissions. During the school year, I might have to reduce it a little bit because I got to do my schoolwork. But
Mm-hmm.
during the
Mm-hmm.
summer, during the summer, hit me up. I
She
got
has
you.
commissions, and so if you're viewing on YouTube, you can see her email streaming across the bottom of the screen. If you are not and you are listening on the podcast platform, email her at mkla.c.lindsey, lindsey at gmail.com. Okay. We'll make sure to
Hmm.
put her email address in the description of this video, and we'll put it in the in the description of the podcast episode as well. So connect with Mikayla if you want a commission. Now, mind you, this is being recorded in the summer of 2023. So if you listen to this in September of 2023 and you think she's just going to be able to drop everything and do your commission, school comes first. Okay?
Sorry, I
School
gotta do my work.
comes first.
I gotta do
Okay?
my work.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
So,
I may be able to make some exceptions, depending on complexity. But yeah, I do anything really. Logos, portraits. I can do traditional color pencil. I can do digital. I'm
okay.
pretty flexible, and I'm still learning. So yeah.
Well, good. Well, listen, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to sit down and have a conversation with me and talk
Mhm.
about you because that was the goal. I wanted to hear more about you. I wanted to hear more about what you were into. And so, is there anything you want to leave us with? Anything else you want to share?
Um, if I had to share one thing, like, please, like, if anyone's watching this that's like maybe interested in art, in any kind of art, like music, dance, like whatever it is, please, like, go after what you want and don't take no for an answer, because like the opportunities that opened up to me when I decided to like take that first step is it really is crazy. And like I know it's very cliche to say like go after your dreams, like, but it's really true. Like really go after them, like because you really don't know what can happen. So yeah, yeah.
Well, listen, they need those gems. Drop them as often as you possibly can because we'll
Hmm.
scare ourselves out of stuff. And then life will go on and then we'll be like, I shoulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda. So
Hmm.
thank
Yeah.
you so much for being
Thank
here
you. Thank
today.
you so much for having me. This is really cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this won't be the last. I plan on once I'm gonna see how this all works out. And then I want
Hmm.
to come back and kind of revisit and see what you guys are doing because Sydney graduates this year, and I know a couple of your other base members have graduated, and you guys are moving on into the e boards and stuff like that, new board members. And so I definitely am gonna stay tuned in and tapped in, and y'all make sure y'all tap in with Mikayla. Okay, I can't tell you enough. I have shared it. I don't know what else to say, but because y'all are really doing some big things. So thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to seeing
Thank
what's next for you.
thank
All right,
you.
everybody. Y'all take care.
Appreciate it.